Jesus Christ, there's been no Spider-Man news for like a day.
For hours now.
I've been stressing out.
When are we gonna get
what the
more?
hell?
Who else has been cast?
What the hell?
When is it coming out?
Okay, so this isn't casting news, but apparently there's a new Spider-Man MCU deal. 3 more movies.
What?
Sony and Disney deal. We're gonna watch The Report, hailed from our friend. What's his name? Warren.
Warren. Cosmic Warren.
I was also thinking Winslow. Let's watch this.
How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything MCU. The hype of Spider-Man 3 is real. It's so real and big that it looks like we have another negotiation for Spider-Man between Sony and Marvel Studios / Disney. Now, I'm sure most of you remember the recent negotiations between Sony and Disney that we had not too long ago that put everybody on edge, and everybody was really afraid that Spider-Man was going to be out of the MCU.
Forever.
Now, ultimately, that wasn't the case. Sony and Marvel came to a deal, and Spider-Man is still in the MCU. But it does appear like we have a new deal in the works right now.
Let's hear it.
This is coming from 2 different sources, and the first one is Mikey Sutton at Geekosity.com. If you
Good old
recall,
Mikey Sutton
was an insider during the last negotiations between Sony and Disney. He kept us up to date with what was really happening. And
He was in the air vents.
Says that Disney and Sony
Spying.
are on the verge of a new deal for Spider-Man's rights. But no need to fear, as this is actually good news. This could actually mean more Spider-Man film collaborations between Sony and Marvel, and new live-action TV shows as well, possibly on Disney+.
Live-action TV shows,
scarce,
huh?
But sources say the deal will keep Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for an additional 3 solo movies with an option for more.
We might get a Spider-Man 4.
The Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy era, which is set during Peter Parker's high school years, and move on to Peter Parker's college years. All, of course, meanwhile, being a part of the Avengers, possibly going on to lead the Avengers or the Young Avengers.
And still a fugitive.
Yep, totally, and in school.
Hearing the same exact rumor. They said on their podcast that Marvel Studios extended the Spider-Man deal with Sony due to the web-slinger playing a pivotal role in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, the fact that Sony and Disney are working a new deal doesn't really come as that big of a surprise. As things heat up for Spider-Man 3, more and more people are getting more and more excited for it each and every day. And it seems like every day a new report comes out for Spider-Man 3 that gets the fans super pumped. And right now it's kind of all anybody can really talk about. So of course Tom Holland has a very huge role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward after Spider-Man 3, especially if you consider what's going to happen in Spider-Man 3 with the multiverse. And right now, if the reports for Tom Holland's current contract are accurate, that means he only has 1 more solo film and a group film left with the contract between Sony and Disney. And even though Spider-Man 3 is looking to be a very big movie with many different characters, that's going to be his solo film. Then he'll most likely be in a new Avengers film. And that's going to be it. And that's all going to be within the next few years, which isn't a very long future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So again, it comes as no surprise
successful
that they're striking
British
a new deal.
mofo.
And of course they're doing it right now because the hype for Spider-Man 3 is getting bigger and bigger every day. So they want to get this deal locked down before the release of Spider-Man 3. Because there's so much more potential with Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than we already have. There's many different routes that they can go down in the movies, but also on Disney+.
Live-action show.
In many of the different series that are going to be coming down the line. Plus,
That's
not to mention,
so
when Kevin Feige
weird
during
to
the
me.
Investor Day was talking about the upcoming Disney Plus series She-Hulk, he revealed that Tatiana Maslany is going to be playing She-Hulk / Jennifer Walters, and he did reveal that Mark Ruffalo will be in the series as well as the Hulk, along with a bunch of other people who might show up. Well, we know
Willem
Peter's
Dafoe,
going to
Sandman,
need
Daredevil,
And Alfred Molina, and Jessica Jones.
So perhaps she could show up in Spider-Man 3, and then Spider-Man could show up in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. And not to mention, they'll probably want Tom Holland
on trial again.
to show up in the Secret Invasion Disney Plus show that was recently announced. Nick Fury and Talos are going to be in the show, and the last time we saw Talos, he was with Spider-Man, who we thought was Nick Fury the entire time helping Spider-Man / Peter Parker out, ended up actually potentially being Talos and his wife.
Oh,
there's
yeah, that's a
definitely
good
precedent
call.
for
Good
Tom
point.
Holland's Spider-Man to be in that series, and
Good
Marvel
point.
and Disney probably want to use him in a series like that and other series as well, which is probably why we're
course.
getting this new deal. So they can put Tom Holland's Spider-Man in more projects for Marvel Studios. And at the end of the day, it works out better for Marvel and Sony because they all make money. And of course, that's what it's about, and Tom Holland staying within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, unlike last time, this is actually a good thing that a new deal between Sony and Disney/Marvel Studios is being worked out for Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What future projects would you like to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all
A Ned
things
Leeds
MCU,
show.
and so you can enter this giveaway for a Tony Stark.
He's
Quantum
the
Suit
main
Funko Pop
supporting
and
character.
tomorrow. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.
Woof woof. And I also think they got to bring back a Team Daryl show.
Oh,
Team
yes.
Daryl, Disney Plus series, and then Peter Parker maybe takes place during the Spider-Man 3 events. He's on the run, and then he has to go crash at Daryl's place.
Yeah, lay
how
low.
great would that? How great would that be?
Dude.
That's a real pitch I have.
I'm starting the petition, change.org/the Daryl Show revival. Just come sign up. Come help.
Don't tease my penis like that.
I'm sorry. I'll...
Well, actually, this all lines up with the original plan that I remember Feige forever ago saying that they wanted to do many Spider-Man movies. And then, yeah, after that whole debacle that did occur where, you know what I'm talking about, all right? The contract was very limited on the amount of appearances and such. So going back a little bit more to the original drawing board, I think it's really cool getting to fulfill that vision that Feige originally had in mind for Spider-Man, to really deal with him in his high school years, watch him age, watch him go to his college years. That all sounds super gravy to me, and I love the idea of him appearing in a Secret Invasion show. I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, that's right. You see that post-credit scene in Spider-Man Far From Home. It makes sense. It makes sense if he somehow did appear there. I would love that. I wouldn't want him to be the star of it. Maybe like an episode or two. It would be cool. It's supposed to be a series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which sounds awesome. But yeah, I mean, more Spider-Man is never a bad thing in my mind. I'm always more excited for more Spidey, dude. This all sounds cool. I mean, I think to get a live-action TV show amongst all this, that'd be bold. I would love to see that. You know, we've gotten several Spider-Man animated shows. Obviously, no I don't think they would do it with Tom Holland.
I think it would be a good opportunity to get. There are so many other Spider-Man characters who can take up that mantle, and I mean, we've already had Miles Morales in his own animated movie and whatnot, and there are other iterations of the character too. I mean, I think it would be cool to bring in somebody new, even if that somebody is gonna meet up with Peter at some point in the MCU or whatever.
Or maybe if it wasn't even Peter Parker, I wouldn't even say Miles Morales. I would say like it could be the Spider-Gwen. It could be one of the many characters that are other Spider-Man renditions. I don't know how much that would mess with the MCU timeline, but they're opening up the multiverse. So they could just take one of those other Spider-Man characters and just make a show about them. But the thing about it is, I think they want these Disney Plus series like, you know, the Groot show. They want these Disney Plus series to tie heavily into the movies, to feel as integral to the viewing experience as possible. So I don't know how much an alt-universe Spider-Man character would be in the drawing board, but that's something I would personally like to see, to answer the question that Warren posed here in the video. But damn, man, where the hell where's the Venom talk? We need
I haven't heard anything about Venom
all
in
these
months.
discussions. It's like Sony's doing their own thing. It seems like Feige is not interested in it. That's like the vibe I'm getting, is because it's such a Sony specific type of Venom that I feel like Feige just wants nothing to do with that version at all, even though I'm like, but come on, man, we're doing Spider-Man, we're getting a gazillion characters in Spider-Man 3. We need to start talking about when Venom's gonna start coming in here.
I mean, we really do, because, I mean, if anything was proven by that movie, it's at least that Tom Hardy and that character have enough appeal to move around, and I feel like they could easily incorporate him in a more MCU-type territory in a way that complements their movies and allows him to go back and do whatever Sony wants to do with their full control
Yeah.
over Venom or whatever. But even the possibility that could open up to him popping up on one of these shows or something like that. Like, I think this is just the next logical conclusion is like once they figured it out and Spider-Man Far From Home was a big success and now there's all this rumors about everything in the Spider-Verse, it just seems natural that, yeah, they would want to keep this working relationship on the positive and growing and open to a bunch of other things because they're calling this, what, 3 movies and some TV show appearances, but really it could be, I imagine, just about anything. It's exciting that we'll actually get a Spider-Man 4 film at some point. I think that's just a nice honorary thing.
We'll have broken it. What I love is how Tom Holland just seems like he's in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
You know, you get that sense with Tobey Maguire, like, I'm ready to hang this up. Andrew Garfield seemed like he was ready to hang it up a little bit early. And I could see a lot with these actors who feel like, it's, you know, I'm getting tired of this. But Tom Holland seems like he has zero interest in ever leaving Spider-Man behind.
It always looks like he just got cast and is that excited.
I think that's a big part of why we love him. It seems to go so hand in hand with our love for Spider-Man, and he seems to really share that. All right, guys. Well, with all this Spider-Man talk, what Spider-Man type of property do you want to see? Is it Spider-Man Venom crossover? Is it Spider-Man show? What is it? Let us know down below. Subscribe to Cosmic Wonder. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. Last but not least, Niraj Krishnan. Niraj, do you see me, Niraj?
Can you
see us, Niraj?
Wow. Okay, now I'm going to stand up and talk directly. This is your ASMR shout out.
Niraj, I love you.
I love you.
Niraj,
You're like the Indian Peter Parker.
I want you to know that no matter what happens, you could even sleep with my fiance.
That's right.
I will always be there for you. I will always love you.
Always.
No matter what. You could kill my brother, and I will always love you. You could poop on my mom, and I will love you even more.
I can vouch for that.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So no matter what, Niraj, no matter what,
don't you even think.
don't forget it. I
Ever.
will always be by your side. Okay?
And I'll be behind the both of you with a camera.
Because the name Niraj.
Niraj.
It starts with an N because that means never, ever, ever will I never, ever leave Niraj Krishnan. Ever.
Ever long is how long I will stay with
So,
Niraj.
I love you, Niraj.
Yeah.
That's the end of what N means.
It's a whole phrase.
Merry
and
Christmas.
sentence.
Enjoy your family. Don't forget to slap my sister. You're
And
great.
poop on his mom.